My name is Lloyd Simpson Bishop. I came from Wati, live in Ray, live on the land all over. I grew up living with my grandma, my uncles, moving back and forth between two families, grandma and grandpa, one grandpa and two grandmas. And my grandma told me stories. There's always a story on everything in our culture. She told me, you tell this story about, it's called key and birch bark. Long time ago, there was lots of raids. The couple that ran away from raids, their teepee burned down. Her husband was a really good hunter, and they traveled to a different country, and they lived there. And one day, after so many months or so, those raids came. Her husband was out hunting somewhere, and that lady saw some movement and the way that people talk. So she rushed back into her teepee and grabbed her stuff that they can survive on, like the one to cut trees, the bowl to make fire, the stick to make fire. And when the warriors came, they were supposed to raid that teepee, and there was no fire because they were scared. And during the day, they rarely made fire because the smoke will show up from a long ways. And when the raiders came, she said, there's nobody home. It's empty tent. I wanted this stuff. I took what I wanted. She spoke their language. And while they were raiding their tent, she just walked out with the stuff she took, maybe a little bit to eat, no pots or pans. There was no pots or pans then. There was only birch bark to drink with, to make water. Birch bark was used for canoe. The wood was good to make things, arrows, whatever they wanted to make. And when she met up with her husband somewhere way up the trail, they got lucky. It snowed and their track got covered. For many days they traveled away from where their camp was, their teepee. And they kept moving. After many days they were really thirsty, and they made fire and camped. They heat up birch bark and took off the birch bark skin, and that's when they made themselves a cup or a pot, and that's only time they had water after many days. The snow covered their tracks. And this story is about the birch bark tree. And thank you very much. I want to say more, but I don't have my drawings with me or anything. Thank you very much. I grew up on a trap line most of my life. I tried to go to school, but my uncle was kind of sick. so I had to go with him all the time. He gets seizures once in a while, so I had to be close by him all the time. He taught me how to read, little bit of writing to leave him notes if I'm leaving. I grew up that way. Not rich, not poor, never wanting anything more than what I get. And I was taught dog grip personally by all the elders of my community and all the elders around the Deni people. I was taught lots because I spoke my language to them. I listened. I helped out lots. I climbed under canoe and bent the nails for them too. And then I earned my way for a story. Even to cut weeds, bring it in, I was told one story. Get some water, I was told one story. Oh, they say his water tastes good when you get snow for elders. And you're going to sleep one night. And one night wasn't enough for me. I was scared. And when the elders say that, they say you're going to live long. For one night is long for this Deni person inside me. I'm white, born white from a native woman. I grew up traveling almost all over. I go normal wilds to work on pipeline. I went to Fort Franklin on a forestry trip. I went to Inuvik. I traveled lots with the forestry on the land. I see stuff, never reported. And I grew up with my own people. I spoke the language, so I was accepted, and I listened. Even talk English good. I almost read all the encyclopedia back in 1975 to 86. I read all the time. Every day I had to read while my uncle prepared me food. And I fed the dogs, and we traveled. One day all our dogs died, and we kept going trapping with 2 dogs. And after the skidoo came, so we used skidoo. We traveled still. And skidoo was faster to travel, but when you get in slush, it was hard. The sled got really hard to pull. You had to clean it, put it upside down. We lost lots of stuff, but we always find them anyway, because there was nobody else around. And that's what my grandma told me. There's a story about everything, even the wolverine, marten, weasel, and all the 4-legged animals that walk the earth. The rabbit was the caribou in the ancient world. And I got lots of stories, but all I want to share was this one. Thank you very much. Date, Muzindi.